Hey everybody, Adam here for True North Wilds. This is July's unboxing of the Mystery Tackle Box Pro Walleye's species-specific box. Always a mouthful to say. They usually come a little bit on the later side in the month. These ones are cutting it kind of close, but they still got here within July. The last week of July is still July, I suppose, so no big deal. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what I get here because I'm going walleye fishing tomorrow. Actually at my parents' cabin at Wallace Lake, which is a great walleye fishing lake, and my freezer is currently empty of fish, which is just a travesty. Let's see what we got. Lindy Beads. Lindy Beads. So I guess for making some spinners, $2.19 for a pack of beads. I mean, the price is appropriate. It's a 100 pack. 5mm beads. Add fish catching color and flash to your spinner rigs and other presentations with iridescent Lindy Beads. Don't know how much use I'll get out of that. I've been toying with the idea of making some of my own spinners. Spinners are a really popular walleye technique for a lot of lakes around here, so it's something that I might actually play with, but most likely it's going to go into my tackle box instead of the bottom. But I'll try and make a point of actually using them. Bomber lures, I have not heard of them. Fat-free shad, fat-free. So for catching those walleye that are watching their calories, we have the fat-free shad. This is a beautiful looking lure. It's hefty. That's heavy. I can't tell if that's just the hardware inside moving around. Sounds like there might be ball bearing or a weight of some sort that is shaking around in there, so you get a little bit of a rattle, but I don't know if that's actually intended to be a rattle or not, or like I said, if it's just hardware moving around. But you do get a little bit of a, if you shake it at just the right angle, you get a bit of a rattle in there. It's a big lure. The color on it is great. There's nice bluish purple along the top, the spots, the white color on the side, and the whole thing is speckled in this gold, I think it's gold, either gold or silver, it might even be both. Tiny little micro sparkles, just fantastic looking. 12 to 16 feet, that's a good depth for a walleye lure. I don't get a ton of deep diving cranks. Most of what I get, whether it's walleye boxes or bass boxes, is always sort of limited to that 12 feet at the most. So it's really nice to get stuff that goes down past that. So 12 to 16 feet, I like that. I'm going to put that to use tomorrow, absolutely. Vexan Pro Walleye Harnesses. 14-pound test, 48 inches long, number 4 Colorado blade, 2-hook rig, and it glows. So I'm not going to open this because once you unwind these things, they're impossible to wind back up, and I don't want to do that. But these are a nice spinner. It's a spinner rig, something that I would put beads onto. This one has perch, stripe, glow blades, and it has almost the same color of beads as these Lindy Beads. It's got 2 hooks on it, which most often means you'll put a night crawler on the end. So what it is the beads, you tie off to your main line. Usually you'll have a bit of a lead. You'll have the blades that spin on the line. You'll have the beads that bounce up and down on the line and give you a little bit of flash and chatter. And then you'll have at the end your hooks, and your hooks on this one, it's a 2-hook system, so you'll have 1 hook and then a little bit of a lead and then another hook, which usually for around here, either a long leech or most commonly is going to be a long, juicy night crawler. No matter what, walleye spinners always catch fish. They're just a great product for catching walleye. Price-wise, $3.99 US, appropriate price. Nothing wrong with that at all. What else we got here? So we got some jig heads. Whirlybird jig heads from gencofishing.com. So it's a pack of 3. They're basic, pretty basic ball jig heads, but they do have the blade or the spinner on them, thus the name Whirlybird. They have the, I do like these sickle style hooks. So they do have those, which I like. I like jigs that have that style of hook personally. But I mean, other than that, it's a basic jig head. Jig and minnow is pretty much the universal bait, the universal lure that you can catch almost any type of fish with, so you can never have too many jig heads. Let's see what they price them at. Jenko Fishing Whirlybird, $6, $5.99 for 3 jig heads. No, they are not tungsten or anything special like that. There's a gas station nearby to me where I can go and get basic ball jig heads, 1/4 ounce, whatever color. They sell them in bulk, and they're like 25 cents each on sale. Maybe they're 45, 50 cents regular price. I don't know. The point is, $5.99 US for 3 jig heads is absolutely crazy. Nobody in their right mind should ever pay that for a package like this. I don't know if that's the Jenko Fishing setting that price, or if Mystery Tackle Box is trying to inflate the value. Either way, that is wrong. It's laughably bad. That is laughably bad. Moving on from that. Hardcore, the dual Hardcore Shad. Suspending the Hardcore Shad. I have 1 or 2 other Hardcore minnows. I think I have Hardcore minnows. And I actually have one that I've been meaning to do a review on coming up shortly, which has been working really well. Casting distance, max 30 meters. Depth, 3.5 meters. 3.5 meters, that's about 10 feet. So it's about a 10-foot, I'm going to say the range of 10 to 12 feet. So 10 to 12 foot diving depth is definitely appropriate for walleye. I like the colors on this. It's kind of a rainbow color. It's got a little bit of reddish color here. It's got the white, it's got the yellow, it's got the green, it's got gold on top. Sort of a mix of colors. It should be pretty attractive in the water. This will be something that you'll need pretty clear water for, because it doesn't have a lot of shine to it. There's not a lot of flash. There's nothing really underneath it that's giving off light reflections. The eyes are really nice on this. I do like the eyes a lot. If you look at them at the right angle, they have the black pupil and then a strip of blue, reflective blue around them, and then a strip of reflective silver. So they look like the eyes with the white of the iris, and then they have that border of blue in there. Really nice eyes. Diving bill is an interesting shape. It's this diamond shape. The profile of the lure is pretty nice. All in all, decent looking crankbait. If I'm in the right water for this, where they can see it from a decent distance, so if I'm in pretty clear water, I can see this working really well. It also has a rattle, so that extends the range, and you can be in a little bit darker water in that case, because the rattle is also going to be drawing it in. Those vibrations, walleye are predator fish, and they're very good predators. They focus on their eyesight a lot, but they also can sense those vibrations in the water. They can hear in the water from a long way off. So that combination of everything should be a good walleye lure. I'll definitely catch smallmouth bass on this when the bass are a little bit deeper in the certain lakes where the water's warmer. Pike will go after this for sure, especially with that rattle in there. All in all, pretty good lure. I'm really interested to see how this color combination works. I don't have anything quite like that. It's a lot different than a normal crankbait that I would get. Price-wise, dual Hardcore Shad, $12.99, $15 Canadian. It's about right. These Japanese lures they tend to be a little bit on the pricey side, but they make good quality stuff, and that is about the appropriate price that I would expect to pay for them. Some plastics. Supercharged impulse reactionary baits from Northland Fishing Tackle. Northland makes good stuff. Northland's very popular around here. And they are leeches. Jumbo Rig Leech Bloodsucker is what it's called. It's a 10-pack. They definitely have a scent on there. They have a scent that I would consider more of a natural scent. It almost smells like there is some seafood of some sort. Maybe it's baitfish, maybe it's shrimp or something in that mixture, but it does smell like more of a natural scent. And there's a good amount of it on there. It's pretty oily in there. And then just a nice leech profile. Leeches, this would be something that I would actually pair up with this spinner. So on that dual hook rig, I would put a long leech, or either a real leech or an artificial one like this would go on those 2 hooks. And this would be something that I would troll across the lake. And you will get hit every time if you pair a leech like this with a spinner and troll it across the lake. You'll always get hits. So nothing wrong with that. Northland makes good stuff. Price-wise, you priced appropriately. $4.69 for a pack of 10. That's, if I was to go and buy this, we have lots of Northland stuff locally. If I was to go and buy this, $4.69 US, $5.50, $6 Canadian. Definitely what I would pay locally. Last but not least, the Z-Man Elaztech Grubs in Midnight Oil Color. So it's a 6-pack for $4.49. So again, appropriate price, $4.49 for a 6-pack. If I was to go and buy plastics locally, would be about what I would expect to pay. Ooh, that actually smells. It smells like candy. It smells like a type of candy. I can't think of which candy I'm thinking of, but there's a particular type of candy that immediately this triggers a memory of when I smell it. So it's got some scent. And it's your basic curly-tailed grub. For walleye, curly-tailed grub. Bass, curly-tailed grub. Pike, curly-tailed grub. Everything will go after a curly-tailed grub. Everything that I fish for here, every single species that I've ever caught will go after a curly-tailed grub. So it's kind of one of those lures that you really just can't miss with. So them throwing it in a walleye box, totally appropriate. This would be appropriate in any box. It's your basic grub, curly tail, and then of course the Z-Man Elaztech. So they're meant to be super durable, super stretchy. I have a lot of these Z-Man plastics now, and while I like the concept of their plastics where it's non-toxic, whatever I don't know what they make it out of, but it's it's a non-toxic alternative to traditional rubbers and plastics. The downside is you really have to be careful where you put these. A lot of times if I'm fishing multiple rods or if I'm switching out my lure quite often, if I am not careful, if I have say if I have one of these grubs on my hook and I cast out a few times and I don't like it, I want to switch to something else. If I take that and throw it into my tackle box and it touches any other plastics that I might have tossed there or that I might have stored there, they all melt and fuse together into this gooey, gloppy mess of just. It's really, really bad. You really have to pay attention that you don't have these come in contact with any other plastics because they make a mess. I had that happen when I came back from my spring canoe trip, because we're fishing for 6 days and everything is off the kayak and the canoe, and you don't take the time most often to throw it back in the packaging and put it away nicely. Usually it's a handful of stuff in the tackle box that you plan on using for that afternoon. It goes in and out of the tackle box. It gets mixed up. I had that happen, and when I got home, I had the compartment was full of this liquid mess of rubber that had fused together and ran over everything, and I peeled off this big pancake of fused rubber. It was disgusting. So that's the only thing I don't like about Z-Man. As far as effectiveness, fishing with them is great. They catch fish. They're durable. They're good to fish with, but man, they make a mess if you are not careful. So anyway, that's going quite off topic there. That is the box, the Mystery Tackle Box Walleye Pro Species Specific Box for the month of July. Let me know down below what you think in the comments there. I always am curious to hear what people think. Don't forget while you're down there, you can like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot for the channel. You can follow us on Instagram at True North Wilds, Facebook.com/TrueNorthWilds, and our blog site, TrueNorthWilds.com. I am struggling, all these things that I say a million times, I'm struggling to get the flow going here for some reason. But don't forget, you can do all that stuff. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you outside.